To the Losers Lounge, brought to you by Toyota, driven by your front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official automotive vehicle of the DNVR. I hate calling it the Losers Lounge, but when you lose, you gotta call it that. And when you lose like that, I think it's only right to call it like that. Denver Broncos lost to the Baltimore Ravens 41-10, and it didn't look great from the jump. Once again, Bo Nix's first pass was picked off by a tip ball. We can't continue to start slow, and I think that was the problem that we had, to start the entire day. It's a tough one. I think that this was really our benchmark to tell us how good of a team we were, and I just think that we aren't where we thought we were. As a defense, we're not there yet, so I think there's more to be done and more growth to be had, but we're not there yet. So what did you guys see?
Week in and week out, man. It's the ball game of not being consistent. I think that's what we have an issue at right now, is we just can't be consistent, and that's in all phases of the ball game, right? So we just got to get a better job of being consistent. That way we can win ball games.
Yeah, it just started off rough. We got the ball to start the game. First carry was Jaleel. He actually started the game. Were you surprised to see him as a starter?
Yeah, it was interesting, to see him be the starter. And it was also interesting to see him go out the second play. It's like, all right, what was that for? I think, what was it, for 1 yard?
Yeah.
He rushed for? I think Javonte could have got 1 yard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It was just kind of weird. It was good to see him start. I thought it was going to be something that we would see consistently throughout the game. But it is what it is. But when it comes to the whole game, it was definitely a game where you want to see where you were as a team. You know what I'm saying? We talked about that. And didn't turn out the way we thought it would. You know what I'm saying? I think we talked about it during the halftime, was that when it comes to this defense, this was a judge of, okay, how good are you really going to be?
Really,
you know because this is the real opponent. This is your first real opponent, really, honestly.
Not playing a whole bunch of backups, not having everybody injured, not playing some teams that are going to win maybe 3 or 4 games this year.
Exactly. So, but, you know what I mean? I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think it's a good defense. I still think.
Kind of go back to what you were saying all season long. Can the defense do this week in and week out? And this is one of those things. There was a test this week.
Yeah, but you're also fortunate enough for the Broncos. They're not facing this kind of team every single week, and they have another one coming up next week with Kansas City. This is just a different kind of offense. You know what I'm saying? They want to get up early on you. Once they get up early on you, that's when you're going to see a lot of Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? And you saw that today. You saw that today. So, but it's definitely something you can learn from. You know what I mean?
We talked about that last week, right? Looking forward to what's going to come in this week. Like, Derrick Henry got held to what? 70-something yards, 60-something yards last week.
Yep.
And we knew they was going to try to feed him. And that's what this game turned out to be. One of those, give Derrick Henry the ball, let him pound it. Let's get physical up front.
Yeah, but they're going to get up on you. You know what I'm saying? That's what they really want to do. So they can wear on you. You know what I mean? Kind of push on the defense a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You kind of feel that in that kind of game. I was saying, though, you don't want to get that 40 piece on you as a defense. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's too many points.
It's 30 points going into half, right?
Yeah.
Is that not true? I mean, so you kind of held up in the second half, but that whole time, I don't know what y'all saying on defensive side in the locker room, but it got to be something on they don't score that much more. Like, only field goals.
That much more.
They can't get many more touchdowns.
This is like that touchdowns. It's that moment when you down there and you.
What do you say?
2014.
When is that moment?
2014.
When they when now they done held Derrick to 20-something yards in the first half, and then he comes out the second half
and just rolling.
And then they just start pumping. And they kind of like you said, they got the lead. You now on defense thinking, hey, we just got to stop the run. You already know what's coming. They're going to pound the ball over and over to run the timeout. And now you got to do your best job, pile up your stats, and get off the field as fast as possible Because as a D lineman, you ain't rushing the quarterback no more.
No.
It's about putting 8 in the box, crashing down, and trying to stop that run. And they just couldn't do that in the second half. They let that dude just plundle down the field.
And you know what the media is going to say? You know what it's going to be now. It's like, is this defense really that good?
Yeah,
that's why
gonna
I
be
was
the question.
saying, what do
Yeah.
you guys say to each other in the locker room? Because it's like, bruh, they can't get in that 40. That's why I was saying at the time. I was like, yo, they can't get in the 40s because then for real, it's going to be like, people are going to be questioning really how good they are. But I still think they're good, but you can't get that 40-piece dropped on you.
Yeah.
Nah, not one bit, dude.
You got to have short-term memory to play defense, man. You cannot think about this game past tonight. Like, fix what you got to correct, but, like, if you think about giving up 40 points in this game, you'll give up 40 points next week. Because it's
capable,
too easy.
right?
It's too easy
Especially
to make
this week.
mistakes, especially against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Like, they'll find a way to put together some good offensive plays. They're going to run half the plays that you messed up on this week. They're going to run next week. So it's important for the defense to bounce back. We talked about the run game and Derrick Henry kind of getting started, but what we didn't expect to see is Zay Flowers go off.
Man.
He had 5 catches, over 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. How? I mean, I didn't feel like it was Pastor Tan and Riley Moss. A lot of times he was on J-Mac getting those, plays, but how do we let somebody go off like that against what is our best part of our defense, which is our secondary?
I don't know what that was today, but it wasn't our defense, right? And it go hand in hand. Not having enough rush.
Yeah.
Allowing Hill to be able to scramble back there. We got to see our Bo Nix do a little bit of pressure of Lamar in the second half. But just to go out there and see Lamar be able to scramble around in the pocket and get out of pressure situations and be able to deliver downfield. It's hard you got these fast receivers, when you got guys can get out there and scatter around. We got to contain these quarterbacks in the pocket, make them run vertical downhill, if anything, not being able to get out of the pocket and dump passes down the field. A lot of times, big plays got hit with this guy getting out of the pocket.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, not being able to scheme up those long distance downs, right? Where it's like, all right, you got to drop into the zone and have good coverage, or jump into that man and stop him on a 3rd and long. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Jarrell, they weren't able to put enough pressure on him, and he's getting those big plays down the field. And then on the second level, this guy's making plays and just actually getting a tackle, bro. Not, getting whiffed or stumbling over each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the big plays you can't have versus this team. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, make them go the long distance. Make them, have that 12 to 15 play drive. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't today, especially because we missed tackles, which is the most fundamental thing. You know what I mean? And then continue that throughout the whole game. So, I mean, it just kind of hurt you. It just kind of hurt you. Because we got to get you can't always have everyone at the line of scrimmage and trying to trick a quarterback.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have that front four say, yo, we're going to get to him.
Yep.
Y'all just cover and we good. And we didn't see that today. And it's tough to not to see it today when you saw all the other games. But then that makes people start to think, what is it about this defense?
And that really wasn't this defense's problem. Like, missing tackles, throughout the first 8 weeks of the season, they were very good, tackling runners. But it felt like for some reason today they couldn't get, those speedy receivers down, or Derrick Henry, once he kind of got started, couldn't really get him down the best that they wanted to. I feel like that's something they could correct. So hopefully they get that better, over the next 2 weeks of the season. But nonetheless, this was a huge game for you,
A big game.
AFC opponent. And they're one of the best 2 teams in the AFC. Like, if you're gonna be good, you gotta beat the Ravens in Baltimore. You gotta beat Kansas City and Kansas City. Like, there's just certain teams that have that notch while you're playing. Like, for us, you gotta go beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
definitely.
You gotta go beat the Patriots in Foxborough. Like, you gotta go do that to be able to be a real contender.
and that's what it comes down to, though. I think if this game, for me, I'm just gonna talk for me. I mean, necessarily I think they were going to win. I mean, yeah, they had a good opportunity, but if the game was closer than it was, I think that makes you feel a little better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? If we score maybe 20 plus and they still score 40, whatever, it still's like, all right, they outscored us. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But
feels more competitive, too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There is a difference between how things look. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's kind of disappointing. I would have been more, happy if it was just a closer game. Because that's what I thought it would be, honestly, with both of these decent defenses, and then, see if we can, stop Lamar and things of that nature.
But it's hard to really have a close game when you have, 9, 10 penalties in a game.
Yeah.
You can't convert on 4th down, but we went for it. Yep. Sean Payton you got some sacks down there.
Yeah, he's trying to
but
open the playbook for sure.
one for four. What? One for five.
Yeah,
one for five. So it makes it tough for your offense and for your defense to really make things happen when you put them in tight, tough situations all game long, right? So,
but that's what we said though. This defense is going to have to do this though.
Yeah.
I think that's what's disappointing because that they have that in them. I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is that real first game I can kind of get a feel for that. Okay, where are they as a team? You know what I mean? I think that's what we all were looking at.
But yeah, I want to go back to that fourth down stat you just brought up. Like 1 for 5, like you can't sleep on that stat. That's like having 4 turnovers in the game. Like literally, it's a turnover.
Literally
on down.
turnover.
Like I know Bo Nix didn't have any interceptions. We didn't have any fumbles by the running backs, but best believe those 4 times we did not get it on fourth down, those are turnovers, and they affect you just the same as it would as if you threw a pick right there, right where you're at. Like, it's a very big deal. And, 2 of them happened in the red zone. Should we have taken the points there? Would it have been a closer game or more competitive? Probably not, but I think the score would look a little better.
Nah, if you convert though, that's a whole new ball game. You think about that. If you convert though, that's a whole new ball game. So definitely we'll get those. Love to get those.
And we converted one. Like the one we converted was the great play to Courtland. I mean, great throw that Courtland had to Bo Nix. And we'll talk about that play a little bit later. But that was a fourth down conversion. So when we needed it, and it still kept the game close at that point. We were only down by 3 points, I believe, once we got that. So it was important to have. But if we're going to go for it on fourth down, like we got to convert more than – was that 20% of our fourth downs if we're going to go for it.
Dude, we talking about Courtland, man. We might have to throw Courtland at quarterback or something, dude. He out here making completions downfield for sure, huh?
Yeah, that's what was surprising. It's like, not surprising, but it's just like, dang, we got to convert. We got to result to a trick play in the red zone to get a touchdown. That's kind of weird to me, you know what I'm saying? But it worked. It'd be different if it didn't work.
Yeah.
But it still has you wondering and thinking, like, come on.
Courtland, he had a 118 passer rating. Not bad. He was 1 for 1, 100% completion. I mean, I don't think Bo Nix would like that, but, you got to do what you got to do to win games.
Yeah, that's tough.
We talked about Courtland. He was really the only receiver. I think he had a phenomenal game. What did he have, over 120 yards?
Yeah, 122.
Courtland played
catches,
really well the entire day.
10 targets.
But that's all he had. But I feel like that's the amount of targets Courtland should get every single game. He's a true number 1 receiver. And if you treat him like that and give him the targets, he has good games. But I don't think Courtland could do it alone.
Talk about alone.
Because I don't know who else really showed up in the passing game.
The next highest reception was 3 catches.
Javante? Well, who was it?
Javante. Not Javante, Jalil.
Oh, Jalil?
Jalil was 3 for 3 for 10 yards.
Who was third?
And then after Jalil, we had Javante, 3 for 2.
Yeah, but he had 42 yards. Yeah.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, it's Bo checking it down. It is what it is. I just wish we could see the whole version because, I mean, are people open or not? I mean, were the Ravens really that good in the past today?
Well, they're like one of the worst teams, maybe the worst team in the
saying.
passing game in the entire NFL.
And we
did they step up today? Yeah, we couldn't expose it today. We'll break it all down tomorrow for you on the Inside Scoop and give you guys the Inside Scoop on what really went down in this game. But
so our guys are just not that good. They couldn't get open.
And we've been talking about that week in and week out.
Yeah.
And we've been saying we don't know if it's Bo Nix not really being accurate or do our receivers not give enough separation to where they can let this guy deliver clean passes. At the same time, we got to make tough catches in tough traffic, right? And it feel like we have not done none of it. We can't get open. We can't hit the accurate throw, nor can we make the tough catch when it's time to make those tough catches. That's gonna make that's gonna swing momentum in the game, right? That's gonna get the sideline on their feet, get everybody juiced up. We just haven't seen those type of plays been delivered out there from this quarterback receiver group.
This was weird for me, man, because I honestly feel like Bo Nix didn't play too bad. Like
he didn't.
When I look at like the plays he was putting together, I mean, he had like 223 yards. He had the interception, 19 for 33. which is not, his where he wants to hit as far as completion percentage.
So imagine that, 19 for 33 with 23 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hitting some great big plays out there.
For sure.
Just
Mostly
couldn't capitalize when it was time to capitalize.
And that's where you want to
those red
capitalize,
zones, right?
though. Come on.
So we know the potential is there for this offense to be explosive and for Knicks to be able to put up these yards that we expect them to put up week in and week out. The thing is how do we finish each drive? One, eliminate all the penalties. Terrible penalties, right? We're killing ourselves with the penalties. And then two, we got to get our run game more established. I feel like we're just so one-dimensional. We're leaning it all on Bo, and we need guys who can step up to the plate and start delivering some help out there.
I don't know. When you play these real good teams, you got to be able to score, though. I mean, I can't always put it on the defense, man. That's why I said at the beginning of the season, I said, yes, this defense is great, and we're playing well versus the teams we're supposed to play well against, right? But we can't always depend on the defense to hold the team to under 20 points.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So, we have to score. So, yeah, the defense didn't look good, but if our offense would have converted on some of the third downs, maybe even some of the fourth downs, it would have been a more competitive-looking game. You know what I mean? If we would have been able to score. Yeah. Maybe in the 20s, maybe not even the 30s, but maybe 24 to 41, you're like, all right, them boys were just rolling on offense.
Yeah.
But, for the offense, again, not to be able to convert and put points on the board, I don't like that. And at the end of the day, someone is to blame versus for every loss. Who is it? I want to know who
is it.
It don't got to be a person. It could be you could say Sean Payton because who is it?
I don't mind us going for it on fourth down, but I don't want to be in that position. The Ravens went for it on fourth down 0 times because they need to. I'd rather us convert more third downs and not have to be in that position and need to go for it on fourth down. Now, who's to blame for this problem and this loss today?
Everyone wants to say defense, though. So is that what you're going to say? You can say defense.
No, because 10 points isn't enough for even a bad team. The Carolina Panthers put up more than 10 points last week. If we have scored 10 points every game, that wouldn't have got it done. So I got to still put it on the offense for a majority of this loss. You know what I'm saying?
But wait, when Bo Nix left the game was 10-17. Next time he got the ball again, it was 10-31.
I understand that.
So, it's a huge gap, and, that puts the defense behind the ball. I mean, the offense behind the ball. So you have to throw and make up those 21 points.
I understand. But you start the game off with a pick, changes the momentum of the game. We start off trailing in that game when you get the ball first, you're supposed to go down and score, or at least put your team in a position to change the field position. We didn't do that to start. So although it ended up being a bad 2 series, between the start of the second half and the end of the first half and the start of the second, I still think the offense didn't do what it needed to in the first half to put us in position to win the game at any point. And even when the defense did get a stop, we didn't turn it into anything. Mm-hmm. All the fourth downs, were, like I said, we're 1 for 5 on fourth down. That's 4 opportunities that the offense left the defense out in the field and had to step on the field and try to make a play.
Yeah, that is
so. True. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna put it on the offense a little bit.
Okay,
still.
Yeah. I understand that.
Defense was bad though. Defense was not good. We're researching names and we got to stop with the names for a second. Let them get back on their feet before we, designate them, earn a name. Pause. but yeah. Okay. What do you got? Well, who would you blame if you had to blame?
Yeah,
put blame somewhere.
I mean, everyone has to someone has to point the finger at somebody, right? And I believe it's just coaching at the end of the day. Just wasn't a good enough scheme. We weren't able to convert, like you said, and taking points off the board is not always smart either, man. Sometimes you got to just take those long field goals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And not go for it in fourth. Just to kind of get that, that spark back a little bit, That
bounce.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, for the guys not to have numbers that they should have had, in this game, I think that just comes on Sean Payton and scheming them receivers open. I mean, Court had a good game. Yeah, that's fine. But where are the other guys?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got to put it on Sean, man.
I think I'm with you on that. I think, when it comes to these games where you're playing against a top-tier competitor like this, it comes down to your coaching to dial up these plays, right? To put your players in the best positioning. And I just think Sean Payton didn't come out there and throw enough at them. I know we just stuck to the basic game plan, went with the basic run plays, the basic plays run. Yeah, we don't want to see too much trickery, but We got to see something that's going to get somebody misdirection or something like that. I think we don't do enough play action, enough of that type of stuff to open up our playbook to get them going. And defense, I say it's just overall just scheme.
Yeah.
And he was
so,
aggressive.
I don't know. You say they
Going for it.
I mean, yeah,
Very-
he was aggressive.
that's
I like that
aggressive.
being
Yeah.
aggressive. I
Very
mean,
aggressive.
So is Campbell over with the Lions. Yeah, aggressive, but they
Aggressive.
convert though too. You know what I'm saying? So he has to understand. All right, what are you gonna do? I mean, do we not have the players to convert? I think we do. So,
What's the average distance on those fourth downs?
I don't have
fourth-
that. I don't know.
Well,
if
I remember
have that.
one was
The
fourth
one
and
was
goal.
One was fourth and goal. One was
Remember
fourth
that.
and 1. One was fourth and 4. I think one was fourth and 11. Like they were all over the place.
Just going for it.
When you feel it, when you feel like you got something, you gotta
Just
go for it.
understand.
But before we go any further, we gotta shout out our friends over at Toyota. You guys know that Toyota has any kind of vehicles that you need, especially they have 17 models with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, like the Epic 4Runner. And whether you guys like it or not, winter is coming. I know fall is here. But the snow is coming, and you got to be prepared. And you got to have something that can get you up the mountain, down the mountain, safely around town. And you got to check out our friends over at Toyota because they'll definitely have you covered. If you're looking for something that has a little bit more distance, not be able to take on all the Rocky Mountains, but you want to be able to drive for a long time, they have 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra, iForce Max hybrid truck. Whatever you desire, Toyota definitely has you covered, and we want you to check out your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you, specifically the Auto Nation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, the Courtland Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson's Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson's Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR.
UC Health Ready Set Co. We are so excited to partner up with our friends at UC Health. Coach Prime wants to help you and other Coloradians be your healthiest selves. As the Chief Motivator Officer of UC Health Ready Set Co Challenge, the goal of the challenge is to get Colorado back to its rightful place as the healthiest state. One of his personas is this challenge. In this challenge is his name, Sleep Prime. Sleep Prime says when you get 8 hours of sleep, he is ready, set, go. It's dreamy, right? Sleep is the key part of overall health. We need to prioritize getting 8 quality hours of sleep a night. A lot of things happen while you sleep, from physical health, well-being, to neurologic benefits. It's one of the main ways to get and keep yourself healthy. Look, when you go to sleep, put that phone away, get some rest, just knock out. Let's not waste our time with the Instagram, Twitter, and all that. Let's get some sleep, guys. Let's make sure we tune in. Make sure we spend time with our family before we do that, get our prayers in, and, get that rest. That's what it's all about. And if you want to be part of this challenge, let's join us at UC Health Ready Set Co. And you can click on the link or join us at www.uchealth.org/readysetco. Let's get it.
And so, guys, we talked a little bit about offense, a little bit about defense, but I think we got to address the elephant in the room. PJ Locke was not playing today, and we felt like we really missed him. Devon Key, I think he's been working hard. He's been playing well up until this point, but it did not feel like 2-6 had a good game today. Could you guys feel like we were really missing PJ Locke out there and felt his presence not being on the field?
No, not for me necessarily. Would he have made some of those tackles that Key missed? I mean, maybe. But it still starts with the first 2 levels, you know what I mean, to even get to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think PJ would have made that big of a difference today. I mean, one guy on the whole defense? I hope not. So, nah, not for me. Everyone else should have stepped up. It shouldn't have to get to me. You know what I mean? So, and what about all the other plays? I'm sure he had other good plays. We only talk about the one because that was a big play for them going into the half, giving them momentum, all that good stuff. Yeah, you have to come up and make that tackle.
Yeah.
But that was one play. I'm sure he had other good plays.
I think there was more than one.
So one guy? So dang, we should be paying PJ 50
million?
Yeah, 50 mil. We should be paying that boy
that's-
50 mil if he's that big of an impact for this defense.
What's different from him and then from Surtain? Because when Surtain was gone, we was like, oh,
what's
it's gonna
the
be a
difference?
Yeah.
We talking about
You
pro
said one
bowler. We
guy.
talking
One guy to
about
one guy.
maybe one of the best to do it in the Denver Broncos uniform. We want the best in the league. We talking about that guy? Yeah, if we lose that guy, it's gonna be trouble. We're talking about PJ Locke. No, I don't think he made that big of a difference, bro. Yes, he made a bad play.
I think there was a few plays though that we would have felt the difference. So we should be paying him $30 million.
No,
I'm not saying he has to be worth $30 million, but I just feel like Devon Key is like, you know what I'm saying? He's getting his footing in the NFL. He's not a complete player yet, and I think that PJ just being in position would have helped the team way more than what they got tonight.
I'm putting on coaching then. Put someone else in there.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Put someone else in there.
Hey.
If he can't get it done after two,
you got JL Skinner. You got other.
Put someone else in.
Yeah.
At this point, you can rotate.
On that.
You can rotate whoever. You lose your starter. You're like, bro, let's find someone to get it done.
Do it. Yeah.
Yes. No, obviously, he wasn't that big the factor. He wasn't the factor. Yeah, he let up on some plays. But I don't know. I'll let y'all the defensive guy, I'll let y'all, put it on my guy.
I mean, I understand why they weren't rotating. Like, if you look at the Broncos training camp footage, like, he was balling all training camp. Like, made the team, playing really well. Like, even last week, I think he had a good game. Sometimes games just happen like this. Like, we all have games where we're like, whew, that was rough. Like, I don't even want to go watch film on Monday because that was rough. I feel like this was his game that he just didn't execute.
And it could be one of those things where you get yourself psyched out too.
Yeah,
this is a big game
against
some top tier receivers, a good tight end, a good running back, a good quarterback. That can mess you up going into this type of game, right? Where you coming in now, you like, okay, last week we got it done. It was a little bumpy a little bit, but we held it down, right?
Yep.
We went there to smash on these dudes.
And you're not stressing about the Panthers
you ain't worried
as much.
About it.
Yeah.
You good. We good. We holding it down. But then you come out here and now it's like, oh damn, we know they're gonna target me. I'm the new guy out here.
Yep.
So we don't know what really going through his head and stuff like that. That stuff plays and played into it. But we need you, like you saying, no, I'm with you. If you call to the case, you got to step up to the plate. And I think we need players who, when guys go down, who can fill in and keep us where we at. This is a great defense.
Yeah.
So there is an expectation when you go into these meeting rooms and you'll step on that practice field to be prepared. So when someone go down, our defense doesn't fall off, right?
Yeah.
And we need to see that. I think we need to see that.
And I feel like we said this like week 2 or something like that because we started talking about this defense. Like, because we weren't scoring as many points, and we were like, how long can this defense do it? But then I asked the question was, okay, when we face those really good teams, how much are you expecting the defense to really hold that team to? You know what I'm saying? I think we said in the 20s, maybe 30 something. So that still puts the pressure on the offense, man. We got to score. We got to at least keep up with them. You know what I mean? So, you can say what you want about the defense today, honestly. I'm still putting it on the offense to go out there and score, at least be able to make it competitive. You score a couple touchdowns, it's a different game.
Yeah.
You might not even get to that 40.
If you're able to kick the ball.
Yeah.
Because you talk about time of possession, like, then they don't even have the ball to be able to score 41 points. Like, it's a very different game.
Yeah.
And if you guys like what we're doing here, make sure you give us a thumbs up. It really helps us out. And I agree.
You think about that.
I agree.
You talking about time of possession. You talking about converting those fourth downs.
Those are game changers.
Yes. The time of possession was so close. 28-31.
Yeah.
Baltimore 31. Imagine we convert those fourth downs. That looked like it might be 35-25.
We might win time of possession.
If we win that time of possession, which means we got more opportunity to score.
Or this.
Points.
Or just say this. Say we don't even go for the fourth down and we try to pin them deep. Make them go to long distance. Now we playing the field game.
Yes. Yeah.
How about that? Maybe not even going for it at all, Payton.
Yes.
And let's pin them back and let's let our defense play, with some field behind them, and then see where we are after that. How about that? Or kick a field goal if you're in that position. You know what I'm saying? But, a lot. I don't know. I know one was maybe in the fourth quarter, a fourth down that they had to go for. But I'm just saying, you don't always have to go for it. Yeah, it's cool when you make it, but you don't have to, man. Play that field game sometimes.
And when you have a quote-unquote good defense, it's okay not to get every fourth down if you want to punt it and then play the field position, let your defense get the ball back. But I talked about it earlier in the week, the defense, if we're going to play well, they need to not just be good, but they need to create turnovers. And we didn't have a single turnover this game. If you allow Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to hold on to the football, they're either going to, punt it to you, put you in bad field position, or they're going to score 41 on you, and neither one is good. So we weren't able to make enough plays on either side of the ball. And It's unfortunate because, like we talked about, Courtland had a good game. I think for a lot of the game, Bo Nix had a good game, but it's just not enough. And you got to be competitive with these teams. Like, I think it was a good mark to say, like, hey, we're not where we want to be top of the AFC yet. I don't think we're bottom tier. I don't think we're, down there with the Raiders, but I think we're probably middle of the pack.
I guess so. Definitely. I don't know. I mean, I don't know about yeah, I guess so. I mean,
you think we're like upper middle?
No, not upper middle. We'd be like in the middle. We're right there.
Just
right
there, that middle cusp.
I'm just, up there.
We'll be upper middle if we can just be consistent. Like, even, like, I'm like you, like, even if this game wasn't a blowout, we'd be like kind of upper middle. You feel me? Even with the loss, it'd be upper middle because it'd be like you're being consistent. You just didn't make enough plays to win this game, right? I think the fact that we're just so inconsistent in and out of games that would makes us in that middle pack. Our defense in the hopes of offense being able to put up 30-some points a game, that right there keep us in that middle.
I know that's what almost makes me want to put them lower.
But that's who we were though. Like,
what do you mean?
For years since I played, like, we've been a team that has been solid on defense, and we just need our offense to be okay. To even when we won the Super Bowl, like, we were dominant on defense. We just needed an okay offense. Like, I don't mind the pressure being put on the defense, but this defense got to step up and make it happen. I don't say they got to hold people to 17 points every game, but like 41 is just not excusable. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you hold them to 28, 31 at most, like that makes sense. But
yeah,
even if the offense ain't scoring, like we can 41 ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, 41 ain't definitely gonna do it. But that offense definitely needs to come to play. I mean, this is definitely not great that we got the Chiefs now, right? A team that's been rolling, a team that can get hot. I mean, is this a quick week when it comes to watching film? What is it? Is it like watch what you did wrong and then, get right to the Chiefs? Because, I mean, this could be maybe a trap game for them. I mean, when we coming in, we usually, play pretty well versus the Chiefs. Yeah. So, I mean, this could be a booster for us as well, but you're not watching much film this week, right? Or how do you think it goes?
Defense player, you definitely ain't watching this.
I'm watching it tonight.
It's a toss-out.
I'm watching it tonight.
I can't remember
how
much we used to watch.
We getting film tomorrow. I'm hand on my head, eyes closed. Like, I don't even want to see this again.
Not one bit.
We need to move on because this is not who we are, and I don't want to keep us here.
Definitely on the defensive side. I don't know about the offensive side.
Offense is too young. They got to watch every film and critique every step. You know what I'm saying? Because they got to find something good that they did today to try and like replicate. But I didn't see much of Vele. I didn't see much of Franklin. Like, they had the deep ball shot. One of the fourth down, 4th and 4. Bo airs it out to Franklin and they don't connect. It would have been great. He had him open. He overthrew him.
That's becoming too consistent, man.
It's too consistent of what do you want to say, a non-connection. Like,
it's happening too much.
If we're going to use that and Franklin's going to be the piece that we use to spark our offense and have big plays, like, they got to connect.
Have to.
Because I don't know if they connected once this year on a deep play. I think they've been all incomplete or overthrows.
Probably, I think Sutton had one, and that was the deepest we didn't even have from any other receiver was Sutton. So, no other deep balls at all.
Yeah. It's not consistent enough for us to remember. We just remember it going through his hands, or it's too far, or behind him, and he's dropping it. Like, that's happened too frequent, right? So I don't even know if they've completed one.
But I think that's what we say safe at, though, a lot of times. I get we want to know deep balls, but I think that's where we keep Bo Nix safe at, right? When he's not targeting so many deep balls and we marching down the field a little bit more, pick up, let your receivers go. Eventually we get to those deep ball threats and stuff like that, but first we got to get open. I think a lot of even the deep balls we do throw, they're contested deep balls. It's not really like they just run it open, just got past a guy, catch the rock, and just run in open space, right? It's like you're going to be jumping up, competing with somebody. So I think just getting a receiver that can really get that separation will be a benefit for Bo Nix, where he can necessarily make some things really go. Because he got a cannon. Yeah. And he can throw that thing out there. He just don't got nobody to really give it to.
Man, I don't know.
So if you guys are the coach, if you guys are the coach, like, where do we go from here? Like, you speak as the offensive coordinator, you speak as the defensive coordinator.
Let's do it.
All right, no. If you're the offensive coordinator, what are you telling the team when you walk into the building tomorrow?
Not straight up, that's not going to cut it. I mean, I know it's on me to put you guys in the right position, but at the same time, hey, we get 4 downs. We got to convert on 2 out of 4 of these 4th down conversions to put our defense in a better position. We have to be better on our side. We can't, exactly what I'm saying to y'all.
Yeah.
We can't depend on this defense, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into this film. And then we going to start hitting that thing. Okay, what's this right here? All right, boom. All right, well, you know what I mean? And just start breaking it down because, like you said, we're going to have to watch that thing.
For sure.
Because there's no way that the worst defense statistically in the past game
should hold you to 10.
and hold you only to 10 points, B. Everyone's scoring some points on these boys.
Everybody.
So you're either telling me that the scheme wasn't good enough or we don't have the right players. And I can't say we don't have the players, man. I mean, I saw, and I'm not putting them on the same level, but, you know, Brady do it plenty of years when he didn't have receivers, but they dialed that thing up. And then when he got a receiver, it just made them the Super Bowl champions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm not comparing. I'm just saying, like, it can be done, bro. And you can't tell me that one guy can't get open. You know what I mean? Again, where are the tight ends again today?
Yeah, they were not good.
You know, like, you can't tell me it's always the players, bro. Because at some point, it got to be more than that. But if you're telling me it's the players, then I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we have enough players. Mims. We got, you know what I mean? Some of these young guys, Vele, putting them in right, you know what I mean? Yeah, dial it up. It don't always got to be a trick, but, you know, dial them up. And sit in the pocket. I have yet to see Bo sit in the pocket. And this doesn't mean that he has to, but, you know, the quarterbacks usually do this. Sit in the pocket, and the linebacker, like yourself, is coming downhill. And he just takes one to the chin, pause, and he throws a strike. Like, I have not seen that yet. Sometimes you might have to do that instead of just scrambling. You know what I mean? And it works, right? So you can't say, oh, don't do it and do it, right? I mean, because it works sometimes, but I'm not just trying to pick on him. I'm just saying I want to see that as well because it can't always be, you know what I mean? It can't be that the guys aren't getting open is what I'm saying. It got to be something.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Before we hear, thank you.
My fault.
I don't want to go over here to D coordinator.
Hey, let's go.
Oh,
Let's go out live to my boy Chris Harrison. Ask him what he thought about the Broncos and their performance. What's up, Chris?
He hung up.
Oh, he texted me to call in.
But while we trying to get him back in
defense,
here,
yeah.
while we trying to get him back in here.
Oh, he's back.
There we go.
All right, we got him. You hear him.
And I can't hear it. We can't hear.
Talk again.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, he's not connected audio.
Okay. I can't hear you, but you can hear me, but we can't hear you yet.
Unmute yourself.
You just.
I'm unmuted. Y'all can't hear me?
There you go.
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
I can hear you now. All right, man. I know you just
Bro, I
got
was
finished
on mute.
watching that
Turn him
that
up a little
Broncos
more.
and Raiders game. What did you see, man? Didn't feel like it was a great game from the Broncos in their secondary. You know, Zay Flowers had over 120 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What did you see watching the game?
Yeah. Man, we just made it easy for him today. And when Lamar doesn't really have pressure and he can make easy throws in the zone, you know, it's tough to beat those guys. And we know going into Baltimore, you got to bring your A game, right? You can't make it easy. You can't give those guys extra possessions with turnovers because they're going to make you pay. And I seen a stat that Denver had more play but less time of possession, and Baltimore had less plays and had the ball more, you know. And that's just because they can run the football. They have a more established offense, and that's what we got to do, man. We got to get a running game for both, for sure.
Definitely. And I think that was the number one thing I said is that the run game is non-existent. I feel like we don't have one, not one bit, and we put a lot of pressure on a young rookie quarterback when we need to relieve this guy so much. But that's definitely key points, definitely. Biggest thing on defense side of the rock. What'd you feel like on that defense side? I think we gave up a lot of pass plays, big chunk plays at that. It wasn't like we was getting little, march down the field. It was like big plays was getting hit. What do you think was the problem on that side of the ball that, why we couldn't get it figured out?
Yeah. It's a key thing when you play against the Ravens. You got to understand that they're going to attack you the same way that past teams have attacked you and had successful plays.
Exactly.
And I think one point that nobody's talked about is We just played this guy's brother a couple weeks ago, and they attacked us kind of in the same way of the Chargers, running the receivers on wheel, running the running backs on wheel routes, getting them in the game, right? Getting the ball out fast, winning in the on the line of scrimmage in the run game, right? So I think all he did was take the playbook of what his brother did with the Chargers and just perfected it. And I can't say Coach Joseph did call the game bad because I seen guys in position to make the plays and to make the tackles, and Derrick Henry was just breaking tackles.
Yeah.
Right, the guy broke 3 tackles almost every run play. So I can't. It's hard for me to put it on the D coordinator when I think we just got to have better fundamentals and we got to be able to tackle better.
Nah, I feel you. What's good, Chris?
What up? What up?
Nah, I'm thinking, man. I feel like you need a complimentary offense, a complimentary team. You know what I mean? When the defense is down, you got to have an offense to put up them points to help out that defense, right? For me, for you,
Yeah.
what was that mindset of those defenses? Because I think you've been a part of both kind of defenses. A defense where you were good, but your offense really couldn't put up points. And you've been a part of the defenses that was good, right? But you knew that you had the
Yeah.
offense to back you up. Tell me about the mindset between the two.
Man, you're just on your heels, man, and that's what happened when you go to Baltimore and you cannot stop that run. It's hard. It's hard on the. I've been in that situation where we just cannot stop these guys, right? We know if they get 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, they're going to be able to run, or he can make a little. He can run with his feet, or he can just make a little dump off throw, and that's what the Ravens do to you, man, and they're very tough. Now you add in Derrick Henry. I couldn't imagine now because they never had a Derrick Henry when I played them. So you add a Derrick Henry with this type of offense and their philosophy, it's going to be tough. The games they lose is when they don't run the football, right? When you can jump on these guys early, and we go out there, we throw a turnover early. They're hot. Derrick Henry's rolling. You're not going to go down there and beat them that way. You got to jump on them fast. You got to put it in Lamar's hand real early, where they can't run football. And that's kind of the philosophy of how we beat those guys. If we go against the Ravens, it's pretty much over with.
Chris, this defense has been playing well up until this game and, being touted as one of the best in the league. This was really like our first test against like a top-tier opponent who had all their players, who didn't have anybody injured. Was this a fluke game, or is this kind of where this defense is and they need to kind of improve from here?
No, I don't think it was a fluke game at all. It was a measuring stick to, the top contending team or a good team, or a good defense. And Denver, they still good on defense. They're just, right now we're just not elite, right? But that's okay. They still got a lot of young players that can continue to improve on. And it's gonna be tough games like this. We know with a young team, a young quarterback, you go on the road, you're gonna have games like this. It's gonna happen, and it's just part of the growth. And we just got to stop the receivers out of the backfield, be able to cover the middle a lot better versus those elite teams. Because when we play the Lions, we play the Chargers again. KC's going to do it this next week. They're going to involve those guys around the middle and kind of stay away from Moss and Surtain if they can. Moss struggled a little bit today, but I expect them to play a little bit better next week.
I'm just so surprised you ain't putting more on this offense. I mean, first of all, they put y'all in bad positions, not getting those 4th downs, all those times, right? Putting y'all in the short end of the field. And then, secondly, they couldn't keep up with points, man. I mean, I get it, man.
He just wants you to go off on the offense.
You gotta go. I mean,
I told him we understand having
offense.
all the pressure on our shoulders, but he want to put some pressure on the offense.
On the defensive side, nah, B. Offense,
Yeah.
more from y'all, bro.
Well, that's not the way they're built. We built with a young quarterback, and we don't have really high-powered weapons like other teams, right? And that's kind of their philosophy. Sean Payton thinks he can just plug in any receiver in there in his offense, and they can go get money, And we're starting to see it doesn't work like that in the NFL anymore, right? Hey, you better go get you a receiver, and hopefully we can go get a T. Higgins. We need some type of guy that can be explosive. I think we got a lot of big guys out there, but there's nobody that's, game changer. Mims, I thought he could be that guy, but it doesn't look like they rock with Mims. or and this they're not using them how they used them last year. So we don't really have a guy that can stretch the field. And I'm never scared. I would never be scared going against an offense that can't run the football or has a guy. They don't have a guy that can take me up top,
Yeah.
Right.
right? And
Right about
those
that.
are two things that we don't have. So I would never be scared going to play against the Denver Broncos right now.
Yeah, I get you. For sure.
I think he hit that right on the nail. Cause I was saying, without an explosive guy who can take the ball up top, dude,
Yep.
we get nothing. We get
Yeah.
nothing at all. So
I
definitely,
love it.
I think you hit that right on the nail for sure.
Sure.
Right on the nail.
And then last one for you, Chris. I know you got to head out, but we talked about this offense and it's kind of lackluster right now, and the trade deadline is right around the corner. The Broncos are 5-4, but still in a place where they could possibly make the playoffs. Is there a player or a position out there that you would recommend the Broncos go and fill to help solidify this team to be able to make a push towards the second half of this season?
Yeah, I think and definitely try to get a tight end. I
Yeah.
think our tight ends only had like 4 yards today.
Yeah,
But I know one catch. I think they want to. They want to save those draft picks, just being around them and talking to those guys, and so I think they would have to trade one of those outside linebackers and try to get somebody back, a player back, or a late pick. So it just depends on what they can get out there. They don't really have a lot of guys on trade that's a trade bait,
Yeah.
that's on the block, because you don't really have a lot of. You might have Courtland, you might have Browning. That's about it. So that's about it. So they gotta. I would love for them to go try to get a Mike Williams, but I don't think they're gonna try to give up any picks for those guys. So maybe they can get something back by trading one of the outside linebackers.
All right, man. Well, appreciate you. Yeah, I hope
Love
they
it,
make a
bro.
move because I think it could be good for them. But much love, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, family. Later.
Alrighty,
Sir, good
boss.
stuff.
So I know the Broncos didn't get it done tonight, but if you want to get it done tonight, you got to hit up our friends over at Blue Chew. So I think it's important to be confident in all areas of life. But if you need some more confidence, Blue Chew will definitely help you out. Blue Chew tablets help with a stronger and a longer lasting erections. And they're great for you. I haven't tried Blue Chew yet. I've been telling everybody. I mean, if we're gonna do ads for it, I definitely got to try and let you guys know how it is. But I look forward to getting my hands on some Blue Chew. So you definitely want to get yourself some Blue Chew. And if you want to get some Blue Chew, you go to BlueChew.com. Use promo code AllCity to receive your first month free. And that's amazing. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
I love it. I got my friends over at Westera Credit Union. Westera Credit Union was founded in 1934 here in Colorado with 9 locations in the Denver metro area. They're all about helping members financially prosper, and education is their thing. It was started by 8 teachers, so helping others is what they do. You know what I mean? Get people ready for what the future holds. You know what I mean? So this is what they do. So, and as a member, you can see that come through in their work. It's all about the local community with them. So they just launched their 90th anniversary CD that offers 9% on annual percentage yield. So that's 9% on annual yield on a 5-month certificate of deposit. And you can start earning high interest on balances as low as $500. So just throw $500 in that thing, start earning interest. And a max of $3,000 insured by the NCUA. But this is only for a limited time, so go ahead. Hey, only for a limited time. Make sure you get in there and check them out. Go and head over to westercu.com to learn more. Now here for all the jargon I gotta say. Early withdrawal penalties apply. Fees can reduce earnings. Rates are accurate as of 9/1/2004. New money and in-branch offers only. Limited time offers subject to change without notice. Review membership account agreements, disclosures, and information guides for additional details. Membership eligibility required, and of course, insured by NCUA. But yeah, go in there and get your money right. Take advantage of some of these rates that they have.
I want to kind of wrap this game up and get on to the next opponent, because I feel like the Ravens are good and I think the Chiefs are good, and I think we have another tough AFC opponent. I know that the Ravens are not the Chiefs, are two totally different ball clubs, but do you feel like this game is going to be what it's going to be like for a couple games now with this tough stretch we have, or do you feel like we can bounce back, maybe get PJ Locke back, get our players going again, and kind of fare well against the Chiefs?
For me, no, I don't think it can be. It will be ongoing kind of thing when it comes to this defense. First off, we're familiar with the Chiefs. They're in division opponent, so we're used to seeing them. Number two, I feel like we always play well versus the Chiefs. I feel like I always play well. I love playing the Chiefs for some reason. And you get that extra boost by, it's like, yo, especially if they win today. I don't know, did they win today? Did they play today?
Yeah, they played today. Let's see if they won.
And especially if they're undefeated, that gives you that more of motivation. Let's be that first team to get back. And we just put up 40. They put up 40 on us. All right, let's go in there and hold down. Bye week? Ooh, okay, they're still undefeated. So it's like, boom.
Tomorrow, Monday night. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Monday night. So let's see if they win or not. But it would be nice to be that first team they lose to give you that juice. You know what I mean? And it's a short week for them. They have a Monday night game. I mean, I think you can bounce back if you're a Denver defense. But again, I'm still worried about on the offensive side because the Chiefs' defense is probably better than the Ravens' defense.
Yep. But this where that defense coordinator and me kick in, and then I say, you know what, we're gonna toss that film out this week. We're gonna get that 40 off our mind and go back to get ready for a good division conference game coming up, because the Chiefs ain't no slaps, and we got to get our mind focused on that, not harping on what just happened.
Exactly.
We know what our defense can do. We understand that we can perform at a high level, and we let one slip this week, right?
Yeah.
We let these guys get a little bit more physical than us in the run game. We didn't go out there and capitalize and we was hurt in the secondary. Our guys didn't come up and make the big plays like we wanted to make. Yeah, okay, that's not us. We understand that. Let's throw that out the window. Get to the film study. Break down these guys who won. They got a new guy over there, D-Hop, who they're going to try to get involved. We know that, right? Let's key on how they're going to try to do that, one. Two, how do we go out here and stop this run game when, I don't know, is Pacheco going to be back, or is he still hurt?
No, he's
still banged up. So they hurt over there. This is the time for our defense to go out there and help out our offense, who's going against a great defense, and be that top 5 number 1 defense that you are, and go out there and do what you got to go do.
Yeah, and if we know anything about this defense, when they get a game where they don't do too well, like Miami last year, they put up 70 on us, and they went and bounced back and had 5 games with 4 turnovers each game. So hopefully we get that same kind of response from this game. But right before we continue on with this conversation, let me get to our guy Zach, who's calling in live from the field.
I'm gonna get me a zip.
Knowshon, I need a chain from you. That's what I need.
Okay.
That would round this outfit out well.
Okay, I
Yeah,
love
that
it.
would look good. That would look good. What's up, man? How's it going out there? I know the Broncos didn't do well, but you have anything from the press conference after the game? How are the moods? You know, were the guys feeling optimistic? Like we let one slip away, but we still can be good. Like, what's the vibes?
Yeah, so I was very curious about that coming out, talking to Sean Payton after the game. I had no idea if he was going to take the Jarrell Casey route of being like, hey, we just got to throw this one out. We got a big game next week, move on to that. Sometimes we've seen Sean Payton be harder on the Broncos after a win like he was last week. And sometimes he's easy on them after a loss. And today he took a very interesting angle, and where I totally see what Jarrell's saying about, look, this isn't us. We have 8 games on defense that show that we're a good defense. This is just a fluke going up against a great defense or a great offense of Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. No, Sean's taking the opposite approach. He's saying we've got to embrace the misery and live in this uncomfortable feeling this coming week. So Sean said, we'll be in the building tomorrow. We'll be watching the tape, and it is going to be miserable. It's not going to be fun, and we're going to embrace that and see how the team responds with that. Bo Nix said, this is not fun. This is miserable. DJ Jones in the locker room saying, we got whooped. 41-10, whooped. That's what was his exact words, and that's what Sean said. You know, he didn't try to paint this in any other way than it was. A 31-point loss where the offense could not convert, could not stay on the field, and the defense gave up 7 straight scoring drives, including, I think, 5 touchdowns in that span. They did a good job making up for Lil Jordan Humphrey's mistake on the first drive. The defense got a stop there. Then they did not get another drive until late, or another stop until late in the fourth quarter. So Sean's saying, we're sitting in this. It stinks. and you're going to have to sit through it all week this week. And honestly, guys, that was kind of the reaction in the locker room. But then we also talked to Pat Surtain, and he said our eyes are still on the playoffs. You know, we got to move on from this one. So a little division in there in terms of how they're handling it, just different personalities. But Sean's going to make sure that this week is not fun and that they remember what this 31-point loss feels like. Because Sean, just like you brought up earlier, Todd, Sean knows how to deal with embarrassing losses. He had to do this, unfortunately, about 13 months ago when the Broncos went down to Miami, and that was a much worse loss. They lost by 50, but 31 in the NFL, that's a whooping, and the Broncos are embracing it.
Yeah, for sure. But, Zach, there's a lot of talk about PJ, though. You know what I mean? Missing PJ Locke and how, you know, if we had him in there, it would have looked so different. I mean, you being there, was it really that different, missing one player, or was it more to the eye that the eye couldn't see?
You know, when the Broncos didn't have Knowshon Moreno for a game or two, man, and they needed him so bad. They didn't have Todd. They needed you guys. Those are important players. And I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what, though, Knowshon. PJ Locke, he is a good starter in the NFL, but the drop-off that they experienced today was huge, and I do think that it was big. And I think there's a guy on the other side of the ball where they really felt his absence today, and that is Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds is a guy that hasn't come in here and put up incredible stats, but little Jordan Humphrey, back-to-back weeks, making very key mistakes at the very first possession of both games. And, man, that just kind of put the Broncos offense off on the wrong foot today. And without PJ, I mean, there were 3 or 4 plays that I had written down that if the Broncos get an experienced safety in there, the Ravens aren't having a 53-yard touchdown. They're not having a key first down on third down. There were so many of those plays where maybe it's not necessarily PJ, but just going to a guy in Devin Key who's very young, very inexperienced, hasn't played a lot, going up against Lamar Jackson. Man, it was so tough. And for this Broncos defense, this was just so uncharacteristic of them. But they have to show next week that today was the uncharacteristic day, and that it wasn't just them dominating because they were playing the Carolina Panthers, the New Orleans Saints with their third-string quarterback, all of these poor teams. They have to show that, no, we just had one bad game, and we went through it. Earlier this week, Todd, the Super Bowl 50 defense, one of the best defenses of all time, they gave up 30 points, I believe, once, or you guys gave up 30 points once or twice that
30.
season.
But this is 41.
It's true. Not a 40 burger.
Okay.
Not a 40 burger. So they need to put this one in the past and show that, no, that was just one bad game that we had, and getting PJ back, I think, is going to be big in that. But, I mean, Derrick Henry, you contain him. Derrick Henry has like 30 yards at halftime, 32 yards in the first half. Lamar Jackson had -8 yards rushing in the first half. That was perfect. But then you let Lamar Jackson be perfect as well. He finished with a perfect passer rating, 158.3. Then Derrick Henry goes loose in the third quarter, and he gets over 100 yards. I mean, that's a formula for the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl. And I think today my biggest takeaway is the Broncos aren't there yet. Now, it's not a surprise, and I don't think it's really a disappointment. You know, the Broncos weren't supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team this year, but we got the taste in our mouths of 5-1 in the past 6 games. And it's like, oh, could they be? And now we kind of have to knock them down back to where we thought they were, which is still better than what a lot of people thought they were at the beginning of the season. And they're a playoff team right now. And that's what Pat Surtain said in the locker room. He said, we still have our sights set on the playoffs. We can be that. It's still right there in front of us. So that we kind of found that out today. Now, if the Broncos go out and knock off the Chiefs next week and give them their first loss, then maybe it starts to change a little bit back to that. But that was my biggest takeaway today. The Broncos aren't in the big boys league yet. And the Chiefs, however, playing on a short week next week. The Chiefs are playing tomorrow night against the Bucs, so they'll be coming off a short week, maybe a little banged up after playing the Buccaneers team. Maybe the Broncos can steal one.
Yeah, you got something? I got 2 more. But
I got one. I want to know, you talking about mental errors and things like that. How big of a mental error you think it was for us to go for those 5 fourth downs? And how big of an issue you think that was in the game? Not alone that, those penalties. I think how bad did those penalties kill us? I think, 10 penalties? Don't get it on 4th down? I think that combination alone for our offense itself was just terrible today.
Yeah, 100%, Jarrell. And after the game, we asked Sean about going for it. They went for it. They turned the ball over on downs, not 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I don't know how many times that's happened in NFL history. I'll do some research after this to see, but that is so unbelievably rare. And essentially, Jarrell, Sean didn't say this, but this is how I interpreted it. He knew that the Broncos are going to have to be unbelievably aggressive, almost to a reckless extent, if they wanted any chance of winning. And I think Sean was okay with a blowout loss if he thought that gave them a chance to win, if that makes sense. He didn't want to necessarily keep the game to a 10, 12-point game. He wanted to win, but he knew if he went for the win, it could come at a pretty big loss, and unfortunately they fell on that side. So he said coming into the game that they wanted to be very aggressive. And so the Broncos lost the toss, so they didn't get to choose whether they received to start the game. But I think if the Broncos would have won the toss, they would have received to start the game, to give Bo Nix the ball, to be aggressive to start off, because going for it, man, they could have settled for field goals, especially earlier in the game. Yep. And instead of doing that, they left points out there, and it just really started to slip away. We could have been looking at a game where the Broncos are up 16 to 17, or right around 16-17, a 1-point game at halftime. Instead, Bo Nix touches the ball at the very last possession that he had in the first half. They're down 7. Then the next time he touches the ball, the Broncos are down 31-10 because the Ravens perfectly executed the end of game situation, and then or the end of half situation, and then right after halftime they get a touchdown too. The game was over then.
Yeah, the Broncos, you know, they weren't the Broncos we saw the last couple of weeks, and this is the first time that they played, you know, I guess some opponents that had all their players, dominant pieces. We talked to Chris Harris right before you came on, and we talked about the trade deadline and, you know, how the Broncos don't have anybody he would fear that can take you up top or anybody that could beat you in the running game. I just got to bring it up real quick. Like, is there a position that you feel like the Broncos need to fill right now when you watch the game?
Well, what are the Broncos going for right now? Are the Broncos going to try to get to that next level and be that Super Bowl contender? Because if so, there's no one out there that's going to save them right now. So I don't think the Broncos, and being around the team today, being around the front office, I don't think the Broncos are going to make a move to come the trade deadline. Maybe they make a small move like trading a backup pass rusher for a late round pick. But I don't think that they're going to make a splash move because I think they understand where this team is at. They're not one player away from making a run at it this year. They're slowly building. And in fact, they're building quicker than I thought, or a lot of people thought they were. So I think they're just going to take a big, deep breath and say, okay, 5-4, we're happy where we are, but we don't think one player can take us over the top. I do think if we're getting into positions, they need a tight end. I thought last week was, a false positive in Vic Fangio's words. I did not think that last week was going to be how the tight ends played consistently for the rest of the season. And today, I think Knowshon said they had 1 catch for 4 yards or something like that. I don't even remember what play that was. I think it was early in the game. But, I mean, it just shows just how there's no weapons there. Courtland Sutton, to his credit, the first time he's had back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. And he also threw a touchdown, which was a pretty fun play there. But when you lose by 31 points, there's not much you can reflect on the fun parts, although it was a really cool play. And Bo Nix did a heck of a job. Courtland made a great pass, too.
When you give them targets, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's so much to think about. It's just hard for me to believe that really no one is open for, him to throw to. Really, does it look like that while you're there? Is the Ravens secondary really that good that we couldn't scheme guys open and put more points on the board? Come on now, let's be real.
Well, Knowshon, to your point, the Ravens have the worst pass defense in the NFL heading into today. Now, they do have a little more talent than that suggests. Kyle Hamilton's a hell of a player. Marlon Humphrey's really good as well. But it's not just this week. It's throughout this whole season. It's Courtland Sutton is the Broncos' #1 receiver. And then outside of that, there's a massive drop-off before you get to other guys. And I've liked that we've seen flashes from Troy Franklin. Man, he would have had a touchdown right in this end zone right here if Bo Nix just would have hit him. But I thought overall, I was really impressed from Bo. I come away from this game, despite only putting 10 points up on the board, I thought he took a step in the right direction. So, Knowshon, I know you probably don't believe after this game, but I do like what I saw from Bo. And honestly, this might have been the offensive line's one of their worst performances. I mean, Bo was running for his life time and time again, so much to an extent that Bo Nix is out here running like 100 yards and throws a completion for 0 yards. That might be the hardest he works for no yards in his entire career.
Yeah,
it was
a
running back there. Dog.
I don't know. You gotta tell me
while he was running.
What was the step forward today? Honestly, because this looked like week 2, 3. I mean, it's the same thing. There's not. Come on,
I think it was a little bit better. But go ahead, Zach.
Zach. I want to know from you. Yeah, please.
Well, I think Bo showed that he can be the wide receiver 2 on this team, Knowshon. So that's definitely a step forward.
Yeah, his versatility. I love it. I love it.
I think he had pretty good composure throughout the game, especially, like I said, this Ravens pass rush was all over him all game. I thought the offensive line did him no favors, and I thought he did a really good job of staying calm back there in the pocket with all the pressure there. I thought he did a good job of keeping his eyes downfield when pressure was there, manipulating the pocket, sliding out. I think this game could have been a bigger disaster than it was. I think they could have lost by way more. Bo had an opportunity to have some really bad mistakes, and he was able to avoid those, and that's something that Sean Payton talks about all the time with him is he does not feel like you're in harm's way when Bo Nix is your quarterback back there. And I did think that Bo did a good job of minimizing any bad plays, especially, man, when your first pass hits the receiver and it turns into an interception. That is just brutal. And for a rookie, I think he really stayed calm and composed back there.
Love it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
gotcha.
agree. I agree.
Love
Well, we'll let you go, Zach. We got
Love
a lot to
it.
talk about. We'll be here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., and we'll break down the game. And, you know what I'm saying, we'll try to make Knowshon a believer with our breakdown.
I love it. I love
And
it.
Jarrell, love the shirt. LFB, baby. Boom, let's go. Let's go, baby.
Oh my goodness, you guys! Oh my goodness!
Let's go. Let's have
It's
some
like
fun.
it's like you're in that relationship. Everyone
Freaking
on the
hater,
outside
dude.
looking in, like that is not a good relationship. But they stay together. It's like,
Hey, you
all
got to
right.
get rid of her, bro.
Yeah.
I love
Hey,
her.
I love her.
Represent
What do
the
you mean?
game.
All right.
Were there crab cakes at the game today for the press box?
It's a great question you hear, and this was not a crab cake game, meaning the
Dang.
Baltimore Ravens did not view this as
Wow.
a big game. And you know what? Turns
they
out
bring
they were
crab
right.
cakes?
They
Yeah,
were
we-
right about it. When you lose by 31 points, it's not a big game.
Yeah.
You sounded so sad.
All right, Zach. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you,
Yeah, I
fellas.
love it. See you, baby. Yes, sir.
Before we get out of here, we got to check in on our friends one more time. So the crab cakes is, I guess the Ravens only give crab cakes to the media if it's a big game, like in their eyes.
Oh, wow.
And so if it was
That was
technically
dirty.
a
They
feel like they was
quote-unquote
running through it
big
over here,
game,
huh?
they would have given them crab cakes, and they did not give them crab
dirty.
cakes. But nevertheless, we got to shout out our friends over at Bet365. You can use code Bet365 at sign up. And Bet365 is an official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche, and they are giving any new customers in Colorado 2 months of Altitude Plus, courtesy of Bet365. And we put out some bets today, and I think most of them hit. So one of them hit for sure.
Most of
So we had what was it? Bo Nix anytime touchdown plus 200. So hopefully you guys made $200. The other two we had, you know what I'm saying, didn't go our way. But you can new customers now can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5. And you also get 2 months of Altitude Plus courtesy of Bet365. And you can head over right now to Bet365 to sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
And you guys already know what it is, man. When it comes to Coors Light, I'm your guy. Hands are up. You gotta frame the face, babe. You gotta let them know. I'm actually here with intern Reese back here. She's excited to be on camera too. But you know what it is.
Give her a round of applause, y'all.
Round of applause for Reese. But today's the perfect day to get a Coors Light, right?
For sure.
It's you gotta forget what happened today. You gotta go home. You gotta chill, relax, let it all go. So grab a Coors Light. You know what it is. When the cans turn blue, it's ready for the crew. Coors Light, man, I love it so much. It's my favorite Colorado beer, hands down. You can grab it anywhere. Whenever I go to Mexico, that's all I drink.
Yeah.
I get shunned because there's a lot of other brands out there, and I'm like, I gotta keep my Coors Light with me. Make the most out of make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get the Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Shout out to you here for helping us out and doing the reason. Before we head out, we got to get the Live Extraordinary moment of the game presented to you by UC Health. and that is the touchdown pass from Courtland Sutton to Bo Nix early in the game. It was a 4th down conversion, the only conversion that we had, and I thought it was a great throw by Courtland, but also I think it was even a better catch by Bo Nix by going over to get that pass. You can head to uchealth.org/tomorrow and take care of your mental health today so that you can have a better tomorrow. And before we head out of here, we got to get to these super chats, and let's see what everybody was saying. First one is Steve. Sutton throws for more TDs than Nix. Nix has more receiving TDs than Sutton. What a weird game. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that, but that's absolutely crazy. Absolutely
That's
crazy.
backwards, right?
Totally backwards.
But we'll take it. I guess we'll take touchdowns. How we
I
get
don't
them.
know, man. It
can't happen again.
Yeah, I mean, that one's done. That play's done. I mean, he might have some other ones. I want to see my quarterback throw him. That's all I got to say.
All right, next one coming from Nathan. This was not purely on Bo. Score should have been 17-16, 2010 at least going into the half. And they gave up on a big play drive to start the half, making it 31-10, making it no margin for error. Yeah, I agree. It was a tough game. Defense didn't play well, and you never want the team that's going to receive the ball the second half to score going into the half because you can double dip. And I think if you can get 14 points before the other team ever gets the ball, it makes it tough, and that's exactly what happened today.
And you seen it start to just roll downhill. They got it up, came out, scored right away. Next you know, it's just become 4-minute offense when you still got a whole second half to go. Yeah. And that's what it became, 4-minute offense for the Ravens.
And you got to give – I mean, when you face good offenses like this, it comes to expect it. I mean, I think they did a good job, of containing our edge rushers. I mean, where was Benito today? Didn't see no one on the outside. You know what I mean? The pressure, the sack is from the middle guy. You know what I mean? From the interior.
Speaking of Benito, his streak
is
today.
over as well.
He did not get a sack. I seen in the chat, a lot of y'all was wondering why we did not speak of Benito.
I thought
we can give him a round of applause for keeping up with him, but
the
streak ends.
Yeah,
he did
not
get it today. Yeah,
he just did a good job of containing him, making everyone run around, and then Lamar had that pocket just wide open.
Yep, step up.
Yeah, it's a step up.
Next super chat coming in from Brandon. I was there the last time we won in Baltimore, and Knowshon jumped over Ed Reed. Did that happen? You jumped over the Hall of Famer? You know what I'm saying?
I got him.
It was
what did he say to you when you do it?
Jump?
Explain to us. What was going through your head when you did it?
What happened?
Walk us through it.
It was no walkthrough, baby. You're just trying to make a play. That's all I was trying to do. I didn't know it was Ed. You know what I mean? Until after the fact, turn around. I'm like, okay, that was Ed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that could have got ugly if that wasn't executed perfectly. But I got lucky with it. You know what I mean? I guess you could call it luck, but I was known for jumping over people. So I guess I kind of caught him off guard. Yeah. Caught him off guard.
You got to put that up in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you get a Hall of Famer, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got all three. I got three of them things.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I come over, I got to check those out again. I ain't noticing.
Next super chat coming in from, is that Timur? Tahir. We need a slot receiver so bad. Ravens wide receivers are 20 yards down the field in 3 seconds. It takes our receivers a minute to even get at full speed. Get Bo help.
Yes. That's been my biggest complaint. I said our receivers cannot make separation. We cannot get the ball and run, just open space. I feel like we got to have a challenge on every freaking throw that we put up there. Just somebody get open, please.
Yeah, I can't think of really one play where even like the Zay Flowers play like that wasn't a 50-yard throw. That was a 25-yard throw that he turned into a 50-yard touchdown.
What?
And I just don't think we have that on the roster right now.
Man, I guess you could say that. I get it.
Do we not have it on the roster, or do we not dial it up?
I don't know. I mean, first it starts with if we can get the camera angle to see the back, y'all can see the receivers. I'm sure there's people open.
Y'all. We need that camera angle.
I'm sure there's people open. I'm so upset with the NFL for that. But anyway.
Is it NFL Network or ESPN? Who got to talk to around here? Come on, guys.
Listen, my name ain't big enough. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm sure there's got to be people open. For real, a whole game when no one's open. Or, the line breaks down. Now Bo was running, so now he loses that guy that's open. I mean, it's a combination of a lot of things.
And he was running a lot tonight. We definitely don't want to see him run as much as he did.
How many rushing yards today?
He didn't have many rushing yards, but he was running
for his life.
Running for his life. Next super chat coming in from Mike Trout. I bought on the field seats to this trash. I want my money back. Sorry to hear that, but we're not the people, what I'm saying, to help you get your money back. We appreciate the super chat.
We're not gonna start a GoFundMe for you.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you.
Nah, I don't know. I can't say this defense trash yet, man. I can't say they're bad.
No, I don't think they're trash.
Nah, I can't say that.
They had a bad game. Yeah, had a bad game.
Offensively, we're below average, and I mean, it's how long can this defense actually hold up? That's what it's gonna come down to. That's what we talked about early in the season. So, this offense has to get better.
For sure.
I don't care what no one says.
I think we're all in agreement that the offense has to get better, and we hope that over the course of the season, Bo Nix will continue to improve. Even this game, I don't think it was all on Bo. I think he had an okay game for a rookie.
Where are the tight ends?
He'll continue to get better.
That's crazy. I get it, but when you're down, right, you got it, though. I get it. Where are the tight ends?
It wasn't National Tight End Day. You can't expect them to show up every week.
At least give it, target a tight end more than once is what I'm saying. Doesn't that open up the edges, though?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where now they're condensing it into the middle of the field, right? And now you can get those fade routes to Sutton or those deep posts and things of that nature, right? But you got to at least target the tight end more than one time.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't call them trash. They're not getting utilized. They're not being targeted.
That doesn't make any sense to me. No, I'm forcing it. You got to start forcing passes to the tight end just so that now you got the defense that they can play.
It's just a threat.
Yeah, they can just play it more accurate, more honest. They can play it more honest. If force 5 to the tight ends and then don't go to them anymore. That's what I say. Goodness gracious. I'm done.
Yeah, Knowshon's done. I think we're done too. We'll get him a Coors Light and help him chew some chill. But if you guys want to check us out, we'll be here live tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll break down the game and hopefully, tell you how the Broncos can be better next week. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Sir.
We all silly like the mayor.